He is the CEO of Bitpanda. Please welcome to the stage Eric Demuth.
Oh yeah, thank you. So, hello. Because we're here at the conference, you're used to be woken up by some questions. I will do the same. So, standard question, how many of you own Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency? Hands up. Oh, it's actually impressive, right? And how many of you know what an ETF is and how it works? Hands up. That's actually less. And weird question maybe, how many of you or who has ever driven to a gas station that is further away just to save 1 or 2 cents per liter compared to the other gas station? All right. Hence, well, actually, you know, when I did the same survey at home with my family and friends, there were more than half, more than 50% said they are doing this. So either it's you're not honest, or it's a cultural thing. Maybe Germans are just cheap as fuck. I don't know. So let's talk about the crypto industry. The crypto industry has a very, very funny image, I think, and this is what your average crypto guy is about, right? This typical hacker and coding and protocol and mixing things around, create a new coin, a new currency, marketing here, get some advisors on board, do an ICO, and you know, the money is flowing in like this. This is your new office then, so easy, right? And of course, what is, you know, actually yesterday, we were at the dinner, it's part of this event, and there we got into a conversation, and they learned, the group we were talking to learned what we were doing. We're into crypto and Bitpanda and stuff, and they were like, oh, you know what, Dublin is booming, the tech industry, you should get some real estate here. It's like, not everybody who's in crypto is a billionaire and just gets into some towns and buys some real estate. But this is, I don't know, maybe this is still the image of 2017. And of course, the image was also, crypto is all about Lambos, right? Getting Lambo in different colors. But I can assure you this is 100% bullshit. This industry is, I think, the hardest to be in, but it's also the most fun. Of course, in 2017, a lot of black sheep entered the market, entered this industry, bandwagon people that just go from hype to hype. It doesn't matter what it is. Now it's crypto, now it's some, I don't know, probably now they are selling their Herbalife shit again, I don't know. But the thing is, real crypto companies that are longer in the industry than a few months are there to stay and disrupt the hardest industry to disrupt. These are fintechs. And fintech's task is to bring the financial industry to the digital age. And this industry is owned and controlled by mostly white, old, rich male, and they don't want to get disrupted. They don't want to sit at the table with me and I tell them what, you know, what millennials want with their 12 seconds of attention span, right? But it's also very, very fun to work at. And just very quickly, what we're doing at Bitpanda, we are around since 2014, so we're pretty much dinosaur in this crypto in the space. And our task from the beginning was to make cryptocurrency as easy and convenient to buying and selling and storing as buying things online. So if you're used to buy things on Amazon, you should do the same thing with cryptocurrency. This was our task, because this is the only way to get mass adoption. You can have the best technology in the world, but if you do not have or give people the access and make it super, super, super simple, there will never be adoption. So I think we did quite well. And we have right now 1 million users, and what I'm proud of is that we did it organically. We didn't need a ton of VC money and marketing. If you buy a good, simple product, people will tell their friends, and this is the best marketing you can actually have. So right now we are over 100 people in our headquarters in Vienna. It's also not really a tech capital, but I mean, anyway, you can do crypto stuff from everywhere you want because it's digital. You don't need to be in the financial hub of London or New York. And what I'm also proud of is last week we have received the PSD2 license from the financial authority from the Austrian financial authorities. And this is very important because you have to play on both sides, the old world and the new world. You have to connect them. You can't just go there full crypto. You have to play along. You also need the banks. And in the end, they need you. So let's jump back 10 years ago. The financial crisis put the financial industry upside down. And it was a self-made problem. No one else did this. No natural disaster or something. It was self-made. They created products they don't even understood themselves anymore. And what has changed? Absolutely nothing since then. All the changes have been done in politics and regulation. But it's the same product, the same people, the same corporation are controlling and building the financial industry. So it is insane that they didn't use this massive chance to restart, get new technology on board, and prepare to get the new generations into their industry. But in parallel, something else came across, and this is because of the financial crisis. Bitcoin was created. Bitcoin was invented and was started in January 2009 to give people the possibility to regain control of their finance, create a financial system that is trustless. Because when you have something where you don't have to trust someone, and you can always verify, this is actually the highest amount of trust. Plus, you cut away all the middlemen. In a digital age, you don't need all these clearing houses anymore. You don't need all these bank advisors anymore. You cut the middlemen, and suddenly everything is instantly and super, super cheap. And this is what we can learn from Bitcoin. And cryptocurrencies are here to stay. There will never, ever be a world without cryptocurrencies again, I can promise you. I'm not saying there's one cryptocurrency, there are probably several ones, but this will be the internet of money, in my opinion. So, back to nowadays, what is the user experience right now? The user experience, when you just look at your normal online banking, you have too much information in there. You just open it up, you have a menu, most of the time, half of the stuff you have probably never heard of. What are all these things? And it's just like an overload. This is not what our generation wants. We want it super, super simple. Don't give us a lot of options. Give us options we understand right away, and we will use it then. And what is really shocking, in a time where we are building self-driving cars, AI is rising up, we are planning to put people on Mars, but we can't do banking at the weekend. I can't send my friend or pay a bill Friday night at 10 p.m. This is insane. I mean, this is the legacy system of the last century, and we still have to deal with this because this industry is protecting themselves. This is all what's going on there. So you have clunky apps, and they are just doing kind of cosmetics because this is all they are doing. The same old stuff put into an app, cosmetics, nothing else. And they spend a lot of marketing into promoting their banking apps, but it's absolutely the same thing. So what do millennials want? We are a generation that is used to transparency. And we want services that are super fast and snappy. I don't want to wait anymore. Look at challenger banks, what they did. Challenger banks are, they haven't done anything new. They give you a debit card and they give you a bank account. It's nothing new, but they make it super, super slim, super lean. And with an interface that we are used to, because our generation is used to Netflix, Spotify, Apple. Apple products come without a manual because they're so intuitive. And this is what we're used, and this is what we want for financials as well. No wonder nobody cares about their financial and put it aside, because the tools are not attractive for us. So these are the role models. The tech industry are the role models. And of course, the innovation here is needed to provide this. And I think the biggest innovation driver is open source technology. You look at the 90s and you see that corporations tried to build their own internet to have control over it. We all know how that went. So we have one internet, and this internet is open source. And this is the same thing with all kind of technology. Open source is the biggest and fastest innovation driver in the world. And we have to understand this. And this is so true here for the financial industry as well. And what is really shocking for me, that only 18% of our generation consider themselves investment savvy. Imagine what kind of potential there is if you would give them the tools to get back into banking, into finance, and take care and responsibility. And this brings me to my most important point here. Our generation does not want the bank advisor of our parents. I can tell you a personal story. When I was about 19 years old, I was just finishing school. I started to look into financials and had an interest for these products. So I looked at the stuff my parents had. And it's not like super sophisticated, wealthy products. It's middle-class stuff. What your bank advisor sells you, and a bank advisor that you kind of have an artificial trust because you kind of know them for years. So I looked at these things, and 2 words, total crap, everything. They had a product where they put money into a fund that is actively managed. So there's the first layer of percentage annual fees. And then I looked at it, and this fund is putting the money into another actively managed fund. There's a second layer of fees then. So I talked to these guys at the bank, and what I realized there was shocking, because they had no clue about this. And this was mind-blowing for me. These guys are just salesmen, and they didn't understand their own product. And they still don't. So they are just having a pool of products they need to sell you with a lot of pressure, and we call them advisors. This is the opposite of an advisor. An advisor is someone I pay an hourly to get independent advice. This is a classic salesman. Would you consider someone knocking at your door selling you a vacuum cleaner, I don't know, a dirt advisor? This is a salesman. So, simplicity is the key here. Again, Netflix, all of these apps have one thing in common. Everything is one fingertip away. And education is something that is absolutely needed here, because this is so far away from us, and we don't want to. We want to give away this responsibility, and this is why this legacy bank advisor still exists, because it's so unattractive, and companies like us need to provide the tools that we can actually educate ourselves how it is actually done. What are the possibilities for me here? I don't need these complex things I don't understand. I want everyone to understand everything, and this is what we have to build here, and we need to educate people. And this is why I asked you about the gas station before. Because I can also ask you, the supermarket, we buy the shittiest food and super cheap meat, which is probably super toxic for us just because it's saving us a few cents here and there. What are we doing with all these savings? We gave it to someone else who probably doesn't even know what they're doing. And this is insane. So the key for me here is one big new buzzword. After all these years you have been confronted with blockchain here and there, there's a new thing coming up. And this one is actually changing things, because tokenization means anything that has value at a particular time, it doesn't matter what it is, can and will be digitalized. That means stocks, bonds, real estate, art, whatever you want. In the future, I can own a fraction of a house as a token, like Bitcoin. I can own a fraction of an Apple stock. Same with Bitcoin. And I don't need anyone to keep it for me, where I have to pay a lot of fees. I don't need the middleman anymore. I can save it I can have all these things on my phone in my pocket, and no one else except me can access this. This is important, and this is what will regain control. And I want everyone not to sit on the toilet and play Candy Crush. I want you to look at your finance and play around here and there. And when you have fees, for example, have, I don't know, €5 fixed fee if you buy a stock, buying and selling, that's minimum €10. So if I only have €100 per month, then what? That is €10. That means 10% the stock has to go up to be break even. This is insane. So the whole system is only made for people that are wealthy. And this is super, super unfair. And the technology is there. And this is so important. This is not a matter of technology. This is a matter of lobbying and regulation. Because the technology, Bitcoin showed us how it's done. And when we can take the technology of blockchain and cryptocurrency into the traditional world of stocks, for example, I can buy €10 of Apple stocks. And because I love Apple, I know what it is, I trust these guys, and this is actually where I can build my wealth for the future. And this is what our generation needs. So, yeah, pretty much this is what we want to build. And I hope you will join us on this journey. Thank you.